What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Rah Ali.
And I'm Louis the Don, Mr. Que Lo Que.
I'm your sexologist bestie, Cash.
Have no fear, Mr. Organik is here, and this is...
On the Contrary.
Yeah.
Now, make sure you guys check us out wherever you listen to podcasts. And you could also watch exclusively at itsonsitetv.com or YouTube if you wish. Check the description below for all the links. And if you like what you're watching, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button and turn your notifications on so that you know when there's a new episode out.
Most definitely.
Yes.
Hey, let's get to it, man. Quick fire question. Let's go fast with this one. Have you ever had a near-death experience? That's one. What would you do during a zombie apocalypse? That's kind of, you know what I'm saying? You got to know what you're doing in them situations. Now, have you ever had a partner who made you feel insecure? Which question you want to go with? Pick one, answer how you want to.
Child. Zombie apocalypse. I'm outside.
Don't know whose idea it was to put have you ever had a zombie apocalypse.
What would you do during a zombie apocalypse?
Right. But Teddy
Walking
boy,
Dead.
I don't know if Teddy got something to do with this. What?
Zombie apocalypse. Look it up.
We're going to be outside like
I wanna
commencements for the annual
the initial
purge.
wave. I ain't trying to be out here eating rats and drinking piss and eating them.
It's a wave one.
Get me out on the rest of my...
A near-death experience. I feel like Cash would have a story for this.
Well, damn.
You got
That's
something?
crazy.
Sound appropriate.
Y'all.
Do you?
I think do I? I mean, the closest I would say to it is probably that I did faint during sex before.
Oh, damn.
I thought I was going. But
You thought you was going.
yeah.
I don't feel like
But
I've
I don't
ever
really
had
have a real.
I had one
near
for
death.
sure.
What happened with
Hell
you?
yeah. Like 2 years ago, I was in Hawaii for my birthday, and I was doing like spear fishing. And you gotta like swim out a mile off land, like swim a mile off land, and then you dive down, no scuba gear, nothing. You dive down 30 feet and you shoot like the fish, but you train first, right? So the first day we went out there, I'm training, going down 30 feet, shooting, practicing, going down, but then you gotta swim back to shore. Mind you, probably be out there 3-4 hours of swimming down, going back up, swimming down, going back up, but you swim about 20-30 minutes offshore. Now you gotta swim back. No boat, no nothing. So like the instructor, he had like a goddamn, what's that, like a bowl thing that you could put your stuff in, like your phone and stuff, like a little inner tube. So he took that and started swimming back to shore. So I started swimming just regular, not knowing that like there's a little tide going on now. So as I'm swimming back,
That's scary as.
going slow as hell. So I know how to swim now. I'm a shark, so I'm going hard. Like I ain't going nowhere. So now I'm
Tide
getting
is pushing against you.
yeah. So I'm getting kind of worried, like because you start thinking like this time I'm drowning type. I'm going hard. I'm not going nowhere. So I'm like, oh man, it's about to be it. Like I'm thinking, I know it's pride. I couldn't scream like help me. I couldn't scream. I can see the people, but I'm like it's gonna go down. But finally, I was like, okay, if I go under the water, I can swim better, right? So I
Yeah.
start going, but you can't see where you're going when you go under the water.
You don't keep your eyes open when you
Nah,
swim?
because it's too dirty. It's the ocean.
Got it.
So I'm going under there. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going faster. So eventually, I went under the water, start going hard. I'm tired. I'm just finding my way. Finally, I like kicked the ground with my flippers. I'm like, oh, I'm close to shore. And they're like, don't kick the coral. You break the... Man, I was stumping that coral like Godzilla. Boom, boom. I was almost out of there. I was dead tired.
Wow.
I got to the shore and broke the fin, destroyed about 100,000 years of goddamn coral reef on the ground. But I made it. But I promise you, I thought it was over. I completely thought I wasn't going to make it. I was tired. I was...
This is definitely one of them white man stories.
It was real white man mode. You know, I like my white man.
Like, yeah, people don't do it.
Right.
One of those.
Could you imagine Organik in the middle of the
Man,
ocean?
he all on the shore. I got back. Said,
They didn't
damn,
even
I'm
look
looking
to see if the man was there. They was just like, if he don't make it.
Man, I thought
Right.
He knew
it
what
was
he signed up for.
I feel like I'm such a like a safe type of person. When I say that, accidents can happen, but
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just like one of those people that like try to kind of like glide, doesn't play, like doesn't risk it, like doesn't scuba dive, doesn't.
You're not gonna do anything extra that might add to the odds.
Don't really jog,
Jog.
Don't walk too fast.
I do all that. Skydive. I
Keep
swim.
myself seated at a nice dining room table
For real. That
in a
was dangerous.
safe place.
I'm an adventurer, though. I would like climb Mount Everest
got
and all that.
no
I want to do
fucking-
all the white men.
Stories like that. You, Louis?
I got one. But it's nothing crazy like that. I was 15, and the night before, some dudes I knew jumped somebody. Right, so my friends in particular were Puerto Rican. So I was the only dark-skinned dude, and two Caucasian looking dudes. So they seen us on the basketball court the night before, and it was like 40 dudes. They just looked. They was like, okay, it can't be him because it was a bunch of black dudes that jumped me. So they left. The next day, my pops used to always tell me, stop walking around with your hoodie on because you look like a criminal. I'm like, I don't look like no damn criminal. That day, I had my hoodie on, and I'm walking, and I see these 4 dudes walking past, and then they turn back.
Is this when you got jumped?
Yeah.
No, but that
No,
time
shit. Beat your ass.
Man.
that's what I
He was
said.
like, yo, you know me? I was like, no. As I'm saying no, the tall dude reached over his man and hit me right here. Boop.
Damn,
I
on the
pulled on the
forehead?
floor, and they had a pit. You know, I don't know what it is, Spanish people with pits, but they had a pit. Now they kicking me on my back and all this, and then I hear the dog going, "Roo." So for me, it was over.
The dog,
I
bitch
hate
ass.
dogs. I don't even like
Right.
chihuahuas. So it's a
Right.
pit bull right here barking, but they ain't let the dog bite me or
Okay.
nothing
Loose.
like that.
Okay.
But you know,
I'm
and then I
sorry.
ran to I was closer to my crib, but I ran to my
You
man's
thought you was
house.
gonna die. You thought it was over.
I thought
huh?
it was. I thought I was.
They
going.
really whooped your ass, Lewis?
They really
I mean,
had to, Rob, because
It was that one snuff. Like he snuffed me one time.
he's still living that shit.
I can live it right now. Watch this.
Do you know who did it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know them, but
R.I.P. to them brothers,
I
huh?
would see them do. He in jail or something. Like I ain't
For
seen him in
sure.
years. But he would see me like in the store, and he'd be like, "Yo, what's up?" I'd be like, "This that motherfucker right here that punched me in the head."
I'm so happy you introduced
And the
this
punch
this
was
way
that
this
hard
time.
that it knocked you out?
It did knock me out. Organic is 6'8", right?
6'6", brother.
All right, 6'6".
Yeah.
So you punching
I'm
down.
5'4", 5'5" with Tim's on, and I had Tim's on that day. But the dude was tall, so he just reached over, caught me. And I just was like in shock. So I
Right.
already knew like
you
if I
fell on
stood there,
purpose.
if I would have stood there, they would have
Yeah, play
just kept
dead.
stuffing me. And I can't hit 4 dudes.
Right.
It was just like, you know what,
Well,
let
I'm
me
going
just
to teach
curl
you a
up.
little bit of something that my mama and daddy told me when I was young. If it ever happens again, God forbid, you are a businessman now, so nobody's going to jump you.
Right.
But whenever you get jumped, the
With
rule
the
of
wood.
thumb is you grab one
One.
of the 4
And
or
tear
one
their
of the
ass
Tear
up.
that ass
and
up.
you wash their ass
All
up.
the way up.
It don't matter if you got to bite pieces of their cheeks out of their
Facts.
face. You
don't
maim
matter.
them motherfuckers. You do the dirtiest
Do
ever.
something.
You gotta
Somebody
poke the
leaving
eyes.
there that
Somebody
day.
gonna remember
Yep.
like you
Or
should have did
if you
this.
could use it as leverage to get the other ones up off of you, like
Yeah.
I let him go.
If you
Fuck
up on
up
my
off
back,
of-
I
yeah.
give him his eye back. if
Yeah.
you don't-
Yeah, I give him his eyeball
Because I
back
done
if y'all
grabbed
get
that
him off.
In all
You get
fairness,
one of them, Lewis.
y'all seen Menace to Society, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
This
Remember
Always got a movie.
Remember that scene where he like,
That's how they was stumping
That's
you?
what it felt like, because it wasn't nobody on me. It was just a bunch of feet
Yeah.
Oh,
and
okay.
Timberland boots on my back. So it was like,
Damn. With the
and
dog drooling on your
yeah, but
shit.
they didn't kick my face. They was kicking me in my back.
that's good.
So
Now
clearly
that's
they
good,
wasn't trying to
yeah.
hurt me
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Because if
Give
they
'em.
wanted to, you know, dudes be getting crazy. Like I seen dudes like, you know what I mean? Like
Oh, yeah, they take
So
yeah.
it's like mistaken identity.
that's pretty much what it was for the rest of my years in the neighborhood. The dudes who actually jumped them, who were all bullies, would tell everybody, yo, don't with Lou.
Oh, because you
they
took
were
that ass
guilty,
whooping for
yeah.
them?
I took
took
the
that
ass
L
whooping
for
for
'em.
them, and they was like, you know what, leave Lou alone. Nah,
You
leave
leave-
him alone. And
Now
They
you
ain't take
got
care of that
that
situation
backup.
for you?
Yep.
Now you got unlimited protection. I
Yeah,
hear
they
that.
should-
I ain't
took
asked
care
for
of
that
that
shit,
for you,
but
brother.
listen, I'll take it.
Right, exactly.
I'll take it.
Y'all motherfuckers come around here
Nah, I mean-
again.
Fact.
I'm gonna just jump right to the topic of the week, y'all.
All
If you
right.
could build a time machine and speak with your teenage self, what advice would you give your younger version, and who would you warn them about?
That's a good one.
Man,
I
that's
love
a good
that.
ass
So
question.
for me, right, it's an easy one. I would speak to my younger self about, because I had kids early, I would just tell myself it's gonna be okay.
Pull out.
Not even.
Oh, because that's going to disappear the kids. My bad.
I would just tell myself it's gonna be okay, because at the time, you know, I was so young. My mother was like, listen, I'm not taking care of kids. I raised you and your sister, you gotta do this. So at 16, 17, 18, I had a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Oh my God.
I know, right?
Yeah, he ain't playing.
I know, right? And
You
I
a
used to
bad
let
man.
them sleep during the day so I could go outside and play ball, but then I was dealing with the bull. I came home because they were,
You had them at home by yourself? I mean, when I said that, I mean you had them just by you. Wow, you're an amazing
And the
person,
warning-
man. You know how many guys would have dumped them the kids off
I
somewhere?
know I would
well,
have.
it was a unique situation. I don't want to
Quick.
get too deep into it, but they mama.
No, we know she
Yeah,
was.
right.
Yeah.
So that's who I would warn myself about. But at the same time, it was a lesson learned. Like,
You had both the children by her? Mm-hmm. Wow, Louis,
never
every
realized that.
time you
We
speak,
talk.
you show us
You know what I
how
mean? 'Cause
you
it's
are
that
just a
bullshit.
great human being.
Except that time when you
like
went and
there's
snuck the
there
fuck
are that
but-
won't even right, except for that one time when
you fucked the girl and then
you
went
went across the street and except for that time.
Oh, y'all remember that day?
Of course.
I've been saying, okay, I've been talking too
Outside of
much.
Outside of that,
Your stand-up dude.
there's so many guys that would not, even with the mom being in the picture, would not have taken care of the kids. Organik said, I know I would have left.
Oh, for sure. No question. I'd have moved out the country.
Nah. You can say that, but I think once you see the
But
kids,
yeah, I know what I'm saying.
you
I never
probably
had
would have
that
been like,
situation.
nah, this is my little motherfucker.
That is beautiful.
Here.
How do your
Yeah.
kids feel about this, knowing that you were that great?
Um,
Are they appreciative?
of
Do they
course.
love it? They, oh
The
man.
irony is that their mom is like, she was 5 years older than me. So her birthday last year, she had a barbecue. I showed up. The kids, my daughter was like, Mommy, how old are you?
Right.
She was like 46. Then she goes, Daddy, how old are you? I was like, just turned 41. Then her uncle goes, yeah, your mother was a pedophile.
Damn.
Oh Lord! I said no, she wasn't. Back in the day, I was the man,
Right,
even
right.
though she wasn't really. I was the
Right.
man. She was older. All the dudes was trying
So
to
you
warn
took
me.
care of a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old at 16 years old on your
16,
own for the most
17,
part.
Yeah,
That's
18.
hard.
Wow.
Better than me, boy.
I mean,
Can
it takes
we
a
please
village,
give Lewis
of
a
course,
round of
but
applause?
Yeah, you
another
better than me,
time?
brother.
I could change the diaper.
Yeah, that's good.
He's such a good guy.
I could change the diaper. With my eyes closed.
Wonderful. Wonderful. All right.
Wow. For me,
What would you
What
do?
advice would you give yourself?
I would. Okay, I'm gonna answer the second part first, and then it'll make sense. But the person I would warn them about is my mom. Warn myself about is my mother, and not like in some deeply negative way. But if I had a little bit of a heads up about some of the I was gonna have to go through, it might have saved a little bit for me. But I was 21 when I had my first child, but that same year I also became the legal guardian of my brother. I raised my brother. So he is, like, my mother had us and then decided to test out if that thing was still working a couple years later and then delivered proof
Damn.
for me to raise.
Right.
For me. He's a great kid. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. Went through college.
Right.
He's doing really great things. He's working with the fire department right now, all this good stuff. But at the time, that's fucked up. I think the advice that I would give myself, one, is to give my mother grace, just because my mother does suffer with bipolar disorder. And around that time, she went through some other things. She ended up getting into substance abuse when my grandfather died. And so it was abrupt. I think that's what it was. And it was no real adjustment. It was like, you better adapt. So I think I would have just given myself the advice to give her grace. She didn't know how to show up for me because she didn't know how to show up for herself, if that makes sense. And I think for me, I would have been able to be a little less tough on myself, because I'm like, you're 21 years old raising your child, and a child that, you know what I'm saying, you didn't bring into this world, but you still take care of, because that's your sibling. So that's what I'd probably go back to. Yeah.
Organik.
I'll probably go back. What would I tell myself?
Jesus.
I gotta keep it pure now, because I came out pretty good. I would say stay the course, keep believing. You know what I mean? What I already know. But it was I had a best friend that was, since I was in like 7th grade, that we're not cool no more. That was real detrimental to my life. You know what I'm saying? This whole time, but I stayed the course with him till like recently. That I would have definitely told myself, get rid of that motherfucker immediately. Like way back then. It'd been 30 years of bull that I could have prevented. You know what I'm saying? That's the most
What
important
kept
thing.
you from not doing that, though?
It was just we've been cool since 12 years
long.
old.
So
You know
you
what I'm
just
saying? Like
felt
we
attached
like
to the
this.
friendship.
Even though it was like trying to compete, you can't beat me. It's like
And
you
like,
right
I
there.
know this so was
Right, so I'll give him the pass, give it the pass, give it the pass. Everybody like, dog, let this hating on you. He trying to, that's my dog, yeah. But you know something ain't right.
Like a comfortability.
Beyond
Yeah.
comfortable. It's like talking to yourself in the mirror. Like we
Yeah.
know everything about each other, but it was always big shit that would go on. Like, you're not supposed to do that.
Right.
That you're supposed to been cut it off. But you
Right.
know each other for so long, you kept it going.
You gave yourself excuses to keep him around. Even
Right,
though he showed
right.
you every reason
And
to.
then I don't like that anyway, so it's like definitely do that. But it made me who I am. But at the end of the day, that had to get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? But myself personally, you know, God is great. Like everything I've been through, it made me who I am, and I had the
1000%
same
on that.
mindset. So I couldn't tell him nothing, because that legendary. Keep doing what you're doing, boy. You got it. But
That's
definitely get rid of that person for sure.
I
At that
definitely
time.
need Rod's answer.
Yeah, what
Because
Rah
I
got to
got
say?
He did.
because I definitely
I wanna
want to
know.
know
I'm still
what you
not
would
the goddamn
tell.
stash.
What you would tell teenage Rah.
No, City Girl Rah.
Don't
City
get
Girl
that.
Rah.
Don't get that
City
man
Girl
$300 that took your money that one time.
City
City
Girl
Girl
Rah
Rah,
business.
Teenage
What about the
Rah,
windshields in the car?
all of that stuff is insane as it sounds, and I'm not giving a cliche answer.
Right.
But all of those things, I would do it again because I really do, believe it or not, feel that the insane things that I did and the mistakes I made genuinely molded me.
Yep.
It really genuinely molded me into being content and at peace with my place and where I'm at right now. I feel like every day I'm still learning and I'm still growing, of course, but those things really are my core of who
you
I
are.
really am. Even the friendships that I had when I was younger, we all had friendships that were not the best idea. It is what teaches you when you're choosing people to be in your life now, what to, I guess, accept and what you're not really interested in having in your circle. So you need those things too. You know what I'm saying? I think that one of the things that I did when I was young was I was way more open with, and I'm still kind of that way. I was way more open with, like, I wouldn't mind, like, everyone could be around, like, if it was a social thing. I didn't filter, like, out people when I was young. Like, everybody could come, your cousin, this person's person.
Yeah.
And what would happen as a result of that is sometimes I would end up in situations that had nothing to do with me that would have me in a whole bunch of trouble. And I'm like, how the I end up locked up from your birthday party? It's crazy.
So is that the warning?
But I needed that
You need to go
because
through it.
now somebody could be like, because I'm very kind. I really am. I will go crazy if you do something, but I am really kind inside. So if somebody be like, Rah, can you do me a favor? I got the cash. I need to book this room, but I don't got my card. Can you put it down? I've
Yeah, the
done
person
that.
is like, I'll
and
do
then
it.
when they don't pay the bill,
You mother.
You like,
so now I'm so extra. I'm like, no, thank you. I'll pass
Oh,
when you
for
get me
sure.
locked up because you skipped out on the bill.
Right.
So it's like extreme,
Over.
like things
Other
happen
opposite.
that warns me of. I'm like, no, cause what kind of 33-year-old got no mother anyway?
Right.
No, thank you, bitch.
Yeah.
Raggedy asshole. This is
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm traumatized.
For sure.
from the
Well, you guys see when something happens to
Hell
me.
yeah.
Do you see how hard I go?
To the maximum level.
To the max.
so you
Ain't
try
no
to
coming
avoid
back.
that as much
affects
as you
me.
can.
It
Yeah.
affects me. So
I go out my way to be nice. I'm trying to prevent it.
yes.
Why'd
So
you bring this out of me?
I need things. I've needed those things to happen in order to just know better. That's all.
That's
all.
a fact, though.
That's
a
all.
fact. I think that my mantra is I am a perfect progression. As long as I'm progressing, I'm always perfection.
Yeah.
And that's it.
It's very important in growth, like those ups and
Me,
downs,
you know?
those betrayals. It teaches you, you know what I'm saying, how to move forward. But sometimes I just that shit I wish never happened though. Like I don't like when you go through stuff, you're like, okay, you got to go through all this stuff when you're going to the top. It's true.
It's true.
Only people that talk like that because you've been through it.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep going through this. I know if I want to be great, I got to keep going through it. But damn it, skip over me. Just
The
let me
road
just
be a
go
little too
smooth.
bumpy.
Just
Bumps
don't,
me.
just don't let it stop. So it's like you talk like that because you've been through it. So it helps you.
Little bumps in
It
the road.
does build resilience,
It
though.
does.
It's hard for, like you said, you don't get embarrassed. You don't get emotional about certain things. It definitely builds up a side
I
of
can
you.
get emotional
Emotional,
about
but
it.
something.
I can get angry, but not
but don't
embarrassed.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like for me, it's,
When it come off on television, national television, I'm like, and
Yeah, that's tough.
okay, like and. Well,
Yeah.
anywho. That was really dope. We're gonna jump into the question of the week.
Right.
We love these, you guys. Make sure you guys keep sending them in. They've been amazing. This week says, I think my homegirl has a real problem and I don't know how to approach her. Over the years, I've seen her shoplift small things like candy, or lip gloss. I pretend I didn't see anything, but last week, while we were at the mall, I saw her stuffing a bunch of Fenty in her bag. Shout out to Rihanna. And while we were in Sephora, I got nervous and walked out pretending to make a phone call.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she stole a handbag and gave it to me for Christmas last year because it didn't come with a gift receipt.
Oh,
What should I do? Well, I'm gonna just jump right in there only because I just spoke about things that other people do that can affect your life.
right.
Mm-hmm. And one of my stories that I know I've told on here before was that a friend, associate, at a birthday party, the associate of her did something to somebody in an altercation at a party, and it affected my life. I was like in the newspaper behind it and arrested with a huge bail. It was something I truly, honest to God, did not do. And that person said nothing. She just kind of like safeguarded her other person. So I think that when you get down to having people in your life that are doing things that are illegal, or that could cost you any type of safety with your own life, I think it's okay to step away from the person.
100%.
If that's what she chooses to do, that's her business, but I don't think you should subject yourself to having a life-altering situation at some point.
It's so funny because I went through a similar thing in Target with a friend of, well, not a friend of mine anymore, but similar situation. We went to Target on a late night trip. We used to go to Walmart, Target, and just randomly buy Anyway, long story short, I'm packing my cart. I come through the checkout. It was 3 of us together. The only person who didn't end up getting stopped by security was the one person who was stealing. So what she was doing was she was collecting her own stuff. And sometimes we would separate in the store. Like if I wanted to go to the home, you went there, and we would come back when it was time to pay for our. So pushing the stuff out the store, everybody put their stuff into one shopping cart. And as we're about to walk out, security is like, we got to escort you this way. I'm like, for what? I had to spend like $400 in Target. And I'm like, for what? What ended up happening, because Target has their own selves and all of that kind of stuff. You go through the whole situation. All right, and I'm getting dragged down here. They're going into the bag and looking at my receipt, item by item by item by item. Mind you, when they were approaching us, she saw them, and she started walking a little faster. So she made it out the door, and the 2 of us got stopped with her one stolen bag. So I always say to people, at the end of the day, those records, your freedom, and the opportunities it could cost you from one situation, meanwhile that person might go on with their life. She's over here stuffing Fenty in her bag, but you're with her. And you walked out the store to pretend to make a phone call, but security might perceive that as you being the first one to get away. You know what I'm saying? While she comes with the second haul or something like that. Exactly. An accomplice or distraction.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now they watching her while she over here really stuffing this bag. So you got to always prioritize, like you said, Rah.
How old are people? Y'all are still stealing
Yeah, you ashamed of
makeup?
them,
Fenty and Sephora is crazy.
Yeah, you got to
My
get rid of that person
God.
immediately. Like, if they stealing in that little petty of
If you gonna
items, for
steal,
one,
do
they
it
may
big.
be
Do
broke.
bank fraud.
Yeah, you a broke man. It's dangerous.
Change your life for real.
Life-changing thief.
Don't change your Don't do that so you can wear orange to the club on Saturday. That shit don't make
you need bail money. I always like people like this. It's okay to love people from a distance. You can have a relationship and have a distant relationship. I don't need to see you. I don't need to connect with you. I can call you over the phone, check on you, make sure your mama good, especially if there's some type of lengthy relationship, a friend that you had since you was a kid. But these people like this, they don't care about themselves enough to say, I'm not going to do this. So you already know they don't care about you when they're willing to compromise both of your freedom for some dumb.
But you know what's so funny? If you care, you can still part your way. But recommend she sees a therapist because kleptomania is a thing, an addiction, or whatever the case is. So, if this is somebody you know for a long time and you having this hesitation, because she's the kind of friend who at least wanted to give you a gift for Christmas.
Yeah, she cared for you.
Right? She cared about you enough to be like,
I was stealing for you
I'm
too.
gonna get you
Right.
sushi,
I
right?
got some brushes
So
for
she
you.
might not be completely trash, but it is worth, like how we
She
talked
just
about the
dangerous,
lion
though. It's
situation.
too risky. Like, she going to end up stealing from you. You don't know how
You
far
never
that
know.
goes.
And there are some thieves who have honor, but there are a lot of thieves who don't.
Help you, you know what I'm
And
saying? Help you look for stole right in their pocket.
right
What?
there.
Where'd you leave it at?
Right there.
Right there with you.
Yeah. So recommend she sees a therapist because she definitely sounds like a kleptomaniac.
Yeah, she needs some help. But get rid of her.
She said,
Too
I
grown
seen
for
her
that.
shop live for candy. And lip
And if
candy
you care
is
about this
crazy.
person,
You still
love,
listen
right.
to
Love them for real.
Boys.
Like,
It's
tell them that shit.
She might got a real
And it's
problem.
crazy because if you really think about it, just even the way they treat us as people of color in the
Yep.
store, the way they watch us, you already under a magnifying
you
glass.
bold.
So why are you
Automatically.
even pulling it off because they already looking.
And they actually expect the girls who walk in with the designer sometimes to be the bigger thieves. So don't think that just because you don't look like
It's a
you're certain.
disguise.
Yes, you don't have to look like a crackhead for them to be watching you. They're watching you. In fact, most of these places you can't go to a CVS and get a freaking deodorant without unlocking it. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, she got to go.
Well, you know what time it is, y'all. It's time for to get it off our chest.
You gotta get it off the
Organic, you didn't get nothing off your chest in a little while.
I didn't.
And I know you got some.
Yeah, I got some brewing, man. Man, oh man.
Tell us about it.
I mean, I say this. I don't know. People these days, you just can't. You can't trust them. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, you go out your way, be nice, and do right by people, and they put their own narrative spins and, put other people in a mix that shouldn't be in it. For instance, like if you had a conversation with somebody, this is what we own, this is what we agreed to, and they'd go to the next person and make up their own spin and then put it on you like you the bad person.
Like telephone or change
yeah,
the story.
exactly. So you be like, we talked about what we talked about. Why the f telling them this? Like they just hearing your story, they coming to you. Now it's a triangle of bullshit because this person is changing the narrative and got you looking some type of way. And so I just say it's difficult to be a good person. So you don't want to be like, tell the business to the other person, because I ain't a person to talk. But it's like you putting me out there. So what I'm saying is, man, just be careful you have around you, because you never know their intentions. They might seem cool, but you got to really do your due diligence on people nowadays. Like I said, I just went through a situation that took me totally off guard. I thought it was all good. It just spit the whole other way. Like, where this coming from? This is not what the told you. You know what I'm saying? You put this mix. Shouldn't be talking this way. Why you telling them this? Then you put an extra spin on it.
Yep.
When you shouldn't be talking to them. Got me looking some type of way. Now I got to explain to this son of a don't need to be in my business. Then I want to got to re-explain to your retarded ass, because I done told you what it was from the beginning. Because you shouldn't say the R word. But I haven't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's my fault for not doing the due diligence, moving too fast. You know what I mean? Got a quick buck put in my pocket. Hey, get it out the way. I should have really got some understanding. You know what I'm saying? So it's a
The
situation.
moral of the story is get it off your chest is don't trust people. So before we close out this segment, right, I want to do a really quick thing where I sing the beginning of a song and then y'all finish it.
Okay.
All right?
It's going clockwise, so it's going from you to OG.
Oh, that's funny shit.
No,
Louis.
y'all got to all do it together. We ain't got time for that, for individuals. It's all together.
What if we get the song wrong?
Make it easy now.
Okay.
Don't go
That's not-
goddamn
look,
Frank
all right,
Sinatra.
We
now.
don't overthink it. Come on, what she want to
Okay.
say?
Whatever you want.
Whatever you need.
Come on now, y'all. Come on. Hey.
I don't know what that is.
Anything you want done, baby. I'll do it naturally. Come on, Louis. Cause I'm every woman.
No, I'm every
That's
woman.
what that
It's
is.
crazy.
I had no clue what it
It's
was.
all in me.
Who that? Tina Turner?
I am Whitney.
Oh, it's Whitney? I don't damn know.
Y'all got that? My makeup singer.
It's the fact that you picked I'm every woman with two. What is that?
Yeah, I
I
thought
just
that.
guessed that.
I thought
All I
Celine
need,
Dion.
like it made the most.
know?
No, it made the most sense though. That's why I was like
And
dumbfounded
you said
after
who was
that.
that? Tina Turner?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's what stopped me in my tracks. I
It
was
is
just
Tina
like,
Turner. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Yeah,
I know.
right?
I know it's Bobby Brown.
All right.
Crackhead Whitney.
And on that note, we want to thank you guys for joining us for this week's episode of
On the
Contrary.